Trump claims Israel-Iran ceasefire is in effect despite initial violation.
So I think this is how it went down. I think Trump calls Iran and says, hey, man, we're going to shoot these 3 facilities with bombs. Get all your people out. This is happening. It is what it is. Afterwards, you can shoot rockets at us as long as they don't hit us, and then we will declare a ceasefire, and this will be over.
It satisfies everybody.
Correct, except it doesn't.
Yeah.
Because Netanyahu will never be satisfied with peace.
Mm-hmm.
Their agenda is not defend Israel. It's actually grow Israel.
It's offend everybody else.
Correct.
Yeah.
And we can do that because America's got our back. Okay? And that's what's happening. And if you don't think that's what's happening, then you are not seeing it clearly. What is up, guys? It's Andy Frisella, and this is the show for the realists. Say goodbye to the lies, the fakeness, and delusions of modern society, and welcome to reality. Guys, today we have Andy and DJ.
Cruise it!
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
See?
Yin yang.
Yeah.
Literally.
Got it. You're the yanker. I mean, yanger.
Whoa, yeah.
What's going on, dude? What? What? I don't get it.
I'm the Yanga.
I don't get. Oh. First of all, that came out of your brain, not mine.
Oh, bro, that just threw me.
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought about it all day. Just came out. So what's up, man?
What's going on, man?
Before we get way out there, I'd like to remind you guys that we do have a fee for the show. Fee is very simple. Share the show. All right. We put a lot of time and effort into the show. We don't run ads on the show. So if the show makes you think, it makes you laugh, it gives you new perspective, do us a solid and don't be a hoe.
Share the show.
So just before we get started, this is our first show of the week live. I've been busy with my day job, so I apologize for not getting one out yesterday, but here we are today with the anger. What's up?
Bro, that's great.
I know.
That's so good.
I know.
Man, that was good.
Yeah.
What's going on, man?
Nothing, dude.
Yeah, it's
chilling, just the glamorous life of podcasting and YouTubing.
Yep. Yeah,
it
gets hectic.
Yeah,
it
sure
definitely
does.
gets hectic.
Demands a lot.
Yeah, it has. Let's see. It's been hot.
Oh,
it's been hot as balls here.
It's hotter than that.
Yeah,
I don't even know what hotter than that is, but it's hot. Hotter than that.
Mm-hmm. All those Arizona people gonna get on us. Oh, you guys don't even know hot.
Yeah,
yeah. No, we know. We know hot here in Missouri. Do you see the? I found this clip. It's been so hot that roads are like.
Dude, I saw that down in Cape Girardeau.
Bro.
That was crazy.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
Here's the clip. Let's check this out. This is in Cape Girardeau, Missouri on June 22nd.
Dude, that looks like some sort of Mad Max shit. Dude, it looks like seriously like a video game or something. Like, look out for the obstacles.
Real bad. How much shit is on that driver's seat right now?
I don't probably think any. It happened so fast, like I don't know that like you even the guy didn't even have time to hit the brake.
Bro,
they were door dashing your shit. Got all
yeah.
Girlfriend got all pissed. What you hit?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was unavoidable.
If it wasn't, you'd be like, oopsie.
Yeah. She was used to it.
Yeah. Dude, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, I've not seen that like that before. I think that's the first time I've seen something like that.
Like, bro, they got some air.
Bro,
too.
it's like those dudes are driving down the road and the sinkholes happen.
Oh, bro, that's some scary shit.
Yeah, and they just go right in it.
Bro, that's some scary shit.
Yeah, man.
I feel like this could be a great commercial for, what kind of car is it? A Toyota? What was that? That was a Toyota Corolla? It'd be a great commercial.
Is that what that is?
New off-road. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? You show that clip. Bunch of sales right there. Bro,
it is kind of cool.
Yeah. In slow motion, it's pretty sick.
Yeah. It is, I mean, I kind of like it.
Bro, could you imagine that happening to one of you? Like while you're driving one of your cars?
No, I'm glad it didn't. Yeah.
Like that's insane. Dude, that's a decent amount of air, bro.
Yeah, I know, bro. And like, dude, when you get even car gets a little bit of air, it hits hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if
That's
you're
it.
on your motorcycle, bro.
Oh, fuck. I'm done.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm done.
Shit, dude, you eat shit, you hit a pothole on a motorcycle
Yeah.
like that.
It'd be bad.
Yeah. Yep, it's hot.
That's how hot it is here.
Yeah.
The cars are doing jumps.
Yeah, man. And plus, I think it's different when it's like you're by the mountains or you're by the ocean or something and it's hot.
You
Like,
got to breathe.
here it's just like hot. It's oppressive.
It is. No, it is. I'm actually burned.
It's equally
myself.
oppressive. Yeah, you look like you got a little sunburn.
Like, I
here.
got, this arm's really bad. Hold
Yeah.
on.
You got that year-round sunburn.
It's pretty. You
Yeah.
see that?
Let's see the underarm.
Huh?
Let's go like this. Oh yeah. See, there's your natural color.
High credit score or low? Right there. Yeah. It's been f***ing hot here though, man. I don't know what it is. We
It's
went
called
from-
summer.
Is that what it is?
Happens every year.
Yeah, but like, but I feel like we say this every year, but like,
It's
this
just because
tops
it's the
last year.
first like couple like really hot days. We're not acclimated to it.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like still coming out of hibernation. You know?
Yeah. Me too, man.
Yeah. It's been f***ing hot, man. You know what else is hot? The world right now.
Yeah.
That transition. You like that?
Yeah, that was a
guys,
good transition, man.
We got a lot going on. Actually, it's been a lot, and so let's take a cruise. Okay, let's take a drive through these headlines, and let's just see what's out there.
Let's do.
Let's do that. Remember, as always, if you lovely folks would like to see any of these pictures, articles, links, videos, go to andyfrisella.com. You guys can check them all out there for you. With that being said, headline number one. So we obviously World War III is it's happening. I'd imagine a little bit more Aloha snack bars happening. But it's interesting. So let's talk about that. How it, where it's at right now, how it got here. We got some updates. Trump claims Israel-Iran ceasefire is in effect despite initial violations. So this has been going on for a couple of days. I think 12 days so far is what they're saying. And it's been hot. It's been hot. But basically, Israel launched a surprise barrage of attacks on sites in Iran on June 13th, which officials said were necessary to head off an imminent threat that Iran would build nuclear bombs. The two nations volleyed strikes for several days. And then the U.S. military struck Iran's nuclear sites on June 22nd, dismissing assessments from Trump's own intelligence agents that Iran was not building a nuclear weapon. So that happened. Trump tweeted, put this out on Truth Social, saying we've completed a very successful attack on 3 nuclear sites in Iran, including Fordo, Natanz, Natanz, and Estefan. Yep.
Gloria Estefan.
Yeah, there we go. Yep. And for those that are not geopolitically astute,
Geographically as well.
yeah, and geographically astute,
They're parallel,
mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
They're right there next to each other in the book I gave you.
Yeah. Here's a map. But the crazy thing is, dude, like there is some interesting like coordination that's happening, I think, on the diplomatic front, as far as like, hey, bro, I'm letting you know I'm about to be doing this, right? Because this came out that there were some satellite images that showed trucks lining up at these locations days before the B-2 bombers came in. And now, actually, at the time of recording, there's reports that are coming out from the post-bombing, I guess, site surveys that not much really was damaged at all. So it's been like a lot of circusry around this.
Mm-hmm. A lot of Barnum and Bailey.
A lot of debauchery.
Yeah.
No, that's not the right word. There's a lot of theatrics
There you go.
around this. And it's interesting. Shortly after the bombing, Iran then launched some missiles towards one of our bases in Qatar. But then that came out that was coordinated, right? Like there's a lot. But then there was the ceasefire deal, which is I really want to dive into because the ceasefire got really, really weird. And it pissed off Trump a little bit, right? First, before that, what's your take? What do you think was happening here? Because like I said, there was a lot of coordination. You don't just magically know days before that, these specific sites are going to get bombed. And then you have enough time to move resources and people out of those areas so that, to limit the amount. Like, there's a lot of coordination, and it makes me feel like there's a plan, but how do you see it? How do you see that piece?
I see it a different way than I think I've seen anybody else say that they see it. First of all, it's been being in business for as long as I have, I've developed the skill of wait and see. All right. Let things play out. And you can't just rush to judgment when you're dealing, especially at the highest levels of strategic action. It's been fun watching literally almost everybody be wrong about this entire thing. Right.
This is going to happen.
Yeah. Right. And, I can't believe I voted for Trump and,
this is what I voted for.
Yeah, right. Like it's been ridiculous. Like y'all are a bunch of idiots.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pro.
Next time, instead of trying to be first, why not try to be right? And I think the bigger point of that is we have a lot of people that are trying to be right and then actually being wrong and dividing people along those lines, which is stupid. Okay, we need unity. We need people to get along. We need people to understand what's going on. And a lot of these people aren't helping. And the reason they aren't helping is for their own attention, their own ego, and they want to be the first person. Dude, you are always wrong. Okay, real talk. Here's what I think. Okay, and I don't know anything of the situation. I haven't talked to anybody. This is just what I observe. First of all, like I've said over and over and over, Trump is not an idiot. He's a very smart, very, very smart man. I don't agree with every single thing that he does, but I think that's very healthy. All right. I think, people have to give this man credit for where he is good. And what he's really good at is structuring deals and playing the strategy to his favor. That's how you take $1 million and turn it into billions of dollars. So I see it differently than I think everybody else is seeing it. Here's what I think is actually happening. And this is going to make some people uncomfortable, but I don't care. For the longest time, forever and ever and ever, my entire life, the United States has been beholden and attached to this idea that Israel is its greatest ally. And we have so much financial manipulation happening in our government from the country of Israel, whether it's through PACs like AIPAC or whether it's through, media manipulation or whether it's through people serving in our government that are dual citizens. There's just an overwhelming amount of influence from Israel to our government onto this country, which I don't agree with. We shouldn't have any of it. It should be illegal. No country should have that much influence over us, or really any influence. We shouldn't take any money from other countries. We shouldn't be allowing people that are citizens of other countries serving our government. There's a lot wrong.
And
Go ahead.
It's funny because we can call out like Ilhan Omar, right? For, when she says, I'm going to support the people of Somalia.
Any country.
You know what I'm saying? But like, what I'm saying is like, everybody can pile on them like, oh, that's fucked up. But, let it be a white flag with a blue Star of David. And it's like, oh, hold on. That's
but
it's a double standard.
100% it is. But like, dude, that's the psychological manipulation, the cultural manipulation that's happening. And that's not happening from the Jews. It's happening from the Israeli government and their intelligence agency. So they manipulate this country to get the people in power to do what they want. And whether they do it with the carrot via money or the stick via punishment, they do it. And everybody knows they do it. And anybody that says they don't do it has their head up their ass.
Mm-hmm.
So what I think is actually gone on here is that Trump has historically taken money from these influences in order to get elected, which makes him beholden to this narrative that he's on Israel's side. And he's been a very vocal supporter of Israel for a long time. But for the last, I don't know, year and a half, 2 years, whatever that's been, this thing that they've done in Gaza has continued to sour the taste of anyone who has human decency because of the brutal nature of it. And it's tried to be explained, it's tried to be communicated, it's tried to be justified, but it's just too much for the average person to say, hey, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
And I believe Trump believes that too. And so when Israel struck Iran, which that's how it happened, they sent their shit to Iran first.
Mm-hmm.
When that happens, that sort of puts Trump in a weird position, very similar to like what happened with COVID,
Mm-hmm.
where people around him came to him and they said, hey, we need to shut the country down. And he didn't really know what was going on. He had these people around him. He shut it down. It ended up not working out in his favor. In fact, I think it ended up really screwing him over. So I think they try to do the same thing here. I think they tried to pin him into a corner, basically saying, Iran has all these nukes, which comes from Netanyahu. Netanyahu's been saying that for 30, 40 years. All right. I believe what has happened here is that Trump has started to understand that Netanyahu is not a good dude and he's doing bad shit. And I don't think Trump wants to be affiliated with him the way that he has been in the past. So they come to him with this narrative that says, hey, these guys are a week away from having nuclear weapons and you have to do something or Israel won't exist, right? So I think what he does is he ends up realizing he's pinned between these two options, because one option is attack Iran and piss off your entire base outside the hardcore MAGA neocons, right?
And while also pissing off a shit ton of Muslims.
Yeah.
And Muslim nations.
Or you have to stand by Israel and, piss off basically all the people who have the neocons and the Jewish influence.
Mm-hmm.
So either way, which is very powerful in this country.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah,
so either way, it's a lose-lose for him.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we didn't hear anything for him from like 5 or 6 days about any of this. And I think what he came up with was a way to decouple himself from Netanyahu. And I think that's what we've been observing. So I think what happened here was, because people don't realize, they did not attack all of Iran's nuclear sites, only 3. And there's many more that didn't get touched.
Or the mines.
Or any of the, right.
Yeah.
So I think this is how it went down. I think Trump calls Iran and says, hey, man, we're going to shoot these 3 facilities with bombs, get all your people out. This is happening. It is what it is. Afterwards, you can shoot rockets at us as long as they don't hit us, and then we will declare a ceasefire, and this will be over.
It satisfies everybody.
Correct,
Yeah.
except it doesn't.
Yeah.
Because Netanyahu will never be satisfied with peace.
Mm-hmm.
Their agenda is not defend Israel, it's actually grow Israel. And
it's offend everybody else.
Correct.
Yeah.
And we can do that because America's got our back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And that's what's happening. And if you don't think that's what's happening, then you are not seeing it clearly. So when we think about what's actually going on here and what we're seeing, I think Trump knew that Israel would not obey the ceasefire.
Yeah.
All right. And I think his plan, which, this morning he came out and he said, hey, I'm pissed off at Israel. Now I'm pissed at Iran too, but I'm way more pissed at Israel. And that was kind of how he said it.
Yeah.
And then, where he said, do you not understand that or whatever, right?
Yeah. I got the clip.
Yeah, play the clip.
Here's the clip.
Israel says that Iran violated the peace agreement and the ceasefire agreement. Do you believe that Iran is still committed to peace?
Yeah, I do. They violated it, but Israel violated it too.
Are you questioning if Israel is committed?
Israel, as soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I'd never seen before. The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. When I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because the one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the f they're doing. Do you understand that?
So that's the clip. All right. And what I read from that is exactly what I'm saying. I think, dude, listen, I think Trump is like one of the smartest people strategically there is. I think he has a blind spot in regards to the people around him that he chooses to listen to. Mm-hmm. And I think he underestimates how evil some people are because I think he's actually a really good dude. And when I observe what's going on here and I hear him say that, what I observe happening is he's decoupling himself from Netanyahu, all right? Because most of his base, like the 80% in the middle, okay, not the
Fringe.
not the far right, quote unquote, MAGA loyalist, Israel's our best ally, not those people. I'm talking about the common person have started to see very clearly Israel's influence over our country, and they're very pissed off about it. And Trump's been, being accused of being part of it. He's been being called Netanyahu's puppet and all of these things. But he can't just turn around and say, hey, f you guys, because there's so much influence behind that. So he has to make it appear, which I think he's done, that Netanyahu is just a bloodthirsty person. And he can now step back and kind of go like this. And I don't know if this will happen. This is pure speculation. But he can now step back and be like, look, I tried to create a ceasefire. Israel broke it. There's nothing more I can do. Mm-hmm. And then he could say, well, you got to deal with your own shit because they're not capable of dealing with their own fights.
Right.
So if you think about what the result of that is, the result is one, most of his base comes back and says, yeah, dude, like they see him say that, what he just said this morning. All those people who were like, dude, I shouldn't have voted for him. He's a pup. Now they're all like, oh, shit. Because this is the first actual resistance to Netanyahu and Israel that we've seen from him.
Publicly.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
So I think this was all played out intentionally for him to decouple himself from having to support Israel in this crazy shit that they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it's not just him just like, oh, okay, fuck it. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
No, they have my hand side here, bro. Like they did this to themselves.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
and I think that Netanyahu is insane. I think he's a terrible leader for that country. His own people think he's a terrible leader. In fact, his government was about to be dissolved, and like the day before this missile attack for Iran happened. People don't know this. His government, because Israel's government works completely different than ours. Basically, the majority comes together and they form a new government, and then they elect a leader. Okay, his party of government was on the verge of being dissolved and replaced with a new one, which means he would likely actually face repercussions legally in Israel for what he's been doing.
Yeah.
So
it's funny because it also happened too before October 7th.
I know, right before October 7th.
Like,
so
there's a string.
This
of
is
consistency
Netanyahu's
here.
way
Yeah.
of keeping himself in power and avoiding any accountability for the things that he's done.
Mhm.
So I think Trump, I mean, you don't think, you think we can see that and
Yeah.
Trump doesn't see that? Trump knows exactly what's going on, dude. So yeah, man, I just think that's what's happening. I think he has strategically played this in a completely different way than almost anybody saw coming. I think he called Iran and he said, hey, these are crazy. You know I got to support them because of this and this and this. Here's what I'd like to do. I'd like to symbolically, quote unquote, bomb your nuclear sites. Take your trucks, take whatever's out. We're going to throw these bombs. We're going to leave the rest. You are then going to shoot these rockets at our base and they're not going to hit. Then we're going to declare a ceasefire and the rocket attacks will stop on Iran and we'll have peace again. And if they don't, and Israel starts to do that, you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
And that's how I see this playing out, because I don't see Trump, after Netanyahu totally disrespecting him, backing them again.
Allowing that to happen.
I could be wrong,
Yeah.
but I don't see it happening. And I also think it dissolves all of the Trump is these things that everybody says, Zion Don, and like he's Netanyahu's bitch and all this shit people have been saying about him. Like, bro, I think out of all the people in the world, Trump probably, that really pisses him off.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and if that was the case, he wouldn't have said what he has said.
no, I
Because
think
you can't say that type of shit.
I think he's trying to. I think he knows. I think he knows what Netanyahu's doing. I think he's trying to decouple the United States responsibility to defend him, and that way he can look at, like, you know, all of his the Congress and the Senate and all of his advisors and be like, what do you want me to do? I got him to do peace, and the guy went and did it anyway. He get whatever the fuck he's getting now, he deserves.
Yeah.
And that's what I see him doing.
Yeah, 100%. Well, let's talk about Congress for a second here, because there's been some interesting things coming out from Congress. This headline reads, Raskin, Trump authorizing Iran strikes likely impeachable. So this is the new thing now, right? We got to get him impeached.
Yeah.
Right, for what he did. Right. And for those that don't know, Jamie Raskin, this is the same guy who literally led the impeachments in 2020 and 2021. This was January 12th of 2021, where Raskin's direct quote was, quote, there are three ways to protect the nation against a president whose conduct poses a clear and present danger to the people. First way is to remove him by vote. The second way is to remove a president who has proven himself a danger to the republic, is to impeach him in the House for committing high crimes and misdemeanors within the meaning of the Constitution. Or the third way is to enact the 25th Amendment and allow the VP to step up and take it. So now Raskin's on here talking, saying that that he thinks it was an absolute violation of the Constitution. Right now, he's not the only one. One of our favorite people we like to bring in, Jasmine Crochet. She had this to say. Let's check this out.
And to understand enough about the Constitution to the extent that I'm the one that's supposed to make a decision, or at least get a vote. Because Ron is telling me. Right. So literally, like,
Yeah, she's complaining that she was not told or allowed. Like, it should have been her decision.
Yeah, no, she said that Trump should have hollered.
Yeah,
at her.
hollered at her.
Hollered at her.
Now it's interesting, right?
And then she says, I should be the one making the decision. No, lady, you shouldn't.
Thank God.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, right? Because they're saying that, you know, Trump used, he doesn't have the power to declare war. This was a war that he, declared on Iran by doing those bombs. And I have this clip that I think is very, very important for context. And I think we should all watch this real quick. Check this out.
These are the countries that Obama bombed in his final year of office. Syria, 12,192 times. Iraq, 12,095 times. Libya, 496 times, Yemen 35 times, Somalia 14 times, and Pakistan 3 times. 26,172 bombs for a total of 3 bombs every hour of every day in only 1 year.
Yeah, but that's Obama.
Yeah,
and
it's fine.
when that was happening, nobody in our country even knew it was happening. It wouldn't even make the news. It didn't even say anything. These people are total hypocrites. They will lie, cheat, steal to get whatever they want. Them trying to push Trump out, I think this whole thing was just another COVID trap to try and get him. Because so he bombs Iran and he's in violation of the Constitution. If he doesn't bomb Iran, he's a traitor to Israel, our greatest ally. Right.
And everybody's going to die from Iran's nuclear war.
If he lets Iran have nukes, they're going to nuke us.
Right.
Bro, everybody has nukes. Okay? Pakistan has nukes. North Korea has nukes. North Korea has nukes that can hit our country. Okay? Iran doesn't have nukes. They never have had nukes. This story's been going on for 40 years, man. So what are we doing? We're again falling in to this cycle of media manipulation to turn the public narrative into something that destroys the country. And people that voted for Trump are falling for it, which is absurd. Like, the amount of people that were like, oh, dude, Trump's this and that and this. I regret voting for him. Can we just wait and see what happens, bro? Can we just wait a second?
Yeah.
It's indicative of how people have been finely tuned to react immediately.
Emotionally.
Like cancel culture shit.
Yep.
Oh, he did one thing that I didn't like. He said one thing out of 10 years of good shit. He did one thing. F him. That's people's attitude.
Yeah.
Okay? So, with anybody, I'm not just Trump. And that's what he's seeing. And people that want this country to return to something that is recognizable as the United States of America have to understand that there are going to be decisions that our leadership makes, whether it's Trump or anyone else, that you personally may not agree with or may not agree with because you don't understand it yet. And the biggest thing that's been getting on my nerves this last few weeks is the amount of knuckleheads out there that think they know shit that know nothing. They know nothing. They bought a podcast microphone off Amazon and they make content and they think they understand the dynamics of strategy or really anything. Okay, let's be real. What the have you done? Okay, you haven't built a business. Dude, and people are like, what's that have to do with it? Well, a lot actually, because there's a lot of the same skill sets involved in running a company as running the country. All right?
This budget's got to be balanced.
There's a gazillion things. You got to keep everybody happy. You got to navigate the politics. You got to have good strategy. You got to,
enforce some rules.
Dude, sometimes you got to make statements. People just don't understand because they don't have the perspective of anything else than sitting in their living room and talking about shit on their phone. Okay? So we're dealing with a bunch of people that because of their selfish desire to make content and get likes, views, and shares and internet clout, they're actually destroying the ability for our country to have any sort of unification whatsoever. And these are the people that love America. So, I don't doubt anybody's love for this country, but maybe we should stop and say, is this helping or is this hurting? Am I supporting this or am I not? Am I contributing to the country getting better or am I dividing people? And dude, I've seen so many people, bro, even people in Trump's organization saying shit look, Barron Trump and these other guys, there was tweets that went out and maybe they were fake. I don't know, but tweets were saying, if you didn't agree with Trump's decision to bomb Iran, this is before we knew there was a call ahead of time. They're saying, you're never MAGA. We don't want you. Well, that's not the right attitude either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dude, there's people that do not want their sons, and they're terrified. They do not want their sons and daughters to go over into another country after we were just in Iraq and Afghanistan. And before that, we were in Desert Storm. Like, people that are my age, we've been at war in the Middle East region since I was 10 years old, man.
You know what's funny about that too? Well, it's not funny, but you know, all these left Democrat congressmen and senators and stuff, they're like, oh, well, Congress can only approve a declaration of war. It's like, bro, the United States of America has only declared 11 times a declaration of war from Congress. The last one that we declared was in 1942, which means the Korean War, the Vietnam War, Operation Desert Storm, War on Terror, none of those.
Yeah, but
none of those have declarations.
But yeah, but bro, the average person doesn't understand that. So when you get Jasmine Crockett and AOC and Raskin and all these people who are scum of the earth, okay, let's be real. They don't give a shit about you. They don't give a shit about this country. They are there to stay there, to insider trade and make money. That is what they are. They are trying to do just enough to pretend like they're helping the people so that they can stay there and walk out worth tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. That is their purpose, okay? That information that you put up there will never be shared. It'll never be shared. And our average person has no idea.
They won't talk about it.
So these people get on TV and they're like, he didn't go through this or that or this or this or this. And everybody's like, oh, he's a tyrant.
Yeah,
he's Adolf Hitler.
Yeah.
He's, and like, dude, it's just all bullshit.
Yep, because neither did Obama, neither did Biden, neither did Bush, neither did Clinton.
And
neither
dude,
did, you know what I'm saying?
Bro,
like,
yes.
Go all the way back to 1942.
DJ, I've been alive to see this.
It's crazy.
Like I'm not 20. Like I've seen it. I've seen everybody that's my age is like, here we go again. Another bullshit war. Another, weapons of mass destruction. Like everybody that's my age or older knows that this has happened over and over and over again, unless they're some dumb 75-year-old boomer tard, okay? Real talk, that just loves Fox News.
Yep.
And they think Sean Hannity's the greatest thing in the world.
Bro,
like,
love
I'm being
Sean
serious,
Hannity.
dude.
They do. They love
Look
Sean.
at Sean Hannity and his Taekwondo. He and his Krav Maga. He'll kick your ass. Talk to him like that. Bro, the guy's 70 years old,
Yeah.
whatever the fuck he is.
Yeah.
Okay? These people love war because they make money on war.
Mm-hmm.
And none of their kids go and die. None of their relatives go and die. And people, the citizens, do not want that because we've had it for 3 or 4 decades straight and nothing's come of it. The only thing that's happened is the people up in government and the weapons companies and all, they've gotten richer and richer and richer and richer while other people lose their sons, lose their daughters, get economically ruined. Like, dude, people are tired of it. So I don't blame people for being pissed at Trump for launching those attacks. But after you see how it was done, it should be understood that this was a chess move. Mm-hmm. And now he is backing himself out. And I could be wrong about this for sure. But it appears to me that he is backing himself out of his alignment with Israel to recapture this big, large amount of his base that has thought like, hey, this guy's selling us down the river to Israel like everybody else has. We don't fight American wars, bro. We fight Israeli wars. That's the truth. Okay? So, and this isn't about the Jews. This is about a corrupt group of people at the top of the government of a country. Very much so like we have. Mm-hmm. All right? Very much so like a lot of countries have. So, and people don't realize, dude, because most people are good, dude. They don't realize that, like, there are people out there who dedicate their entire lives to gaining positions of power so that they can hurt other people because they like it. They like hurting other people. And there's, who likes hurting other people? A lot of people like this. Mm-hmm. Okay? There's two kinds of people that rise to the top of power structures. One is a psychopath. The other one is someone, usually an idealist / realist blend, who's like, this is what it is and this is how it should be, and they're working to bridge the gap.
Yeah.
All right? What we're dealing with in Netanyahu is a psychopath. Psychopath. And I think Trump knows it. And I think Trump's tired of getting disrespected, and he's created a scenario where if he doesn't back him, who the fuck's going to blame him?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I
But ultimately, dude, I see this as a trap to f him up, entangle him in controversy, keep him from making any real changes, potentially get him impeached. You know, that's what they did the first time. They locked him up in all this shit so that nothing could get done. And a lot of that comes from the Israeli influence in our government. So, because they don't want that to change. Why would Israel want that to change? Why? They wouldn't, bro, because the minute that Israel doesn't have the United States standing behind them, they've pissed people off for 50, 60, 70 years.
A few thousand, maybe.
No, I'm talking about the current Israel.
Yeah.
Okay. Dude, it's dangerous, and it makes me feel bad. And I feel bad for all the innocent people that are in Iran, and I feel bad for all the innocent people that are in Israel. Because, bro, dude, listen, we need a world revolution to get rid of all these corrupt legacy leaders and free the world. That's what needs to happen.
Yeah.
Like, there's too much corruption, too much legacy power. These people are not untouchable, like for real. Like revolts have happened for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. And it sure does seem like it's getting close to time for another one globally.
For sure. Well, they like those regime changes. We need a global one.
Yeah, but I mean, dude, you know, like it doesn't have to be this way, dude. It doesn't have to be the way it is. Doesn't.
Yeah. Guys, jump in on this conversation. Let us know what you guys think down in the comments. With that being said, cruise shall continue to cruise. Let's go check these comments out. This first comment is from JJK9275. AI girlfriends may run out of memory, but the real ones remember everything. That's a fact. That is.
You know what?
No comment?
Yeah, I don't know. You know, my eyes have been blurry all day. I gotta take your word. That's what it said. I can't see all the way up there.
Let's see if you can see this one then. At Nighthawk 5301, the person who commented about their parents listening to this channel sounds like they are on puberty blockers.
You know, I can't see that one. We don't make fun of kids, but if we did, I'd agree with you.
We got some heat, man. People been rolling, man.
Hey, bro, our people don't f around.
Yeah, they don't. And to that point,
you know what I love? The Clydesdale cartel is back in action.
They are back.
Everybody's back. Everybody's done taking the high road. We're down in the gutter fighting it out.
Bro,
I see some people, they see my videos and they go on there and they talk mad shit. And our people come in and just give them puberty blockers.
Now they're like, you know, Simone Biles, bro.
Cut their balls off.
Well, now they're like Simone Biles. They delete their accounts now.
Well, that's what it should be.
That's how it's supposed to be.
These fucking mouthy have gotten too comfortable.
I'm cool with it.
I am too.
I'm cool with it.
Get them.
We got one more comment from Miguel Meyer-Tinez. He says, Trump is a clown, period. Bought and paid for. To which a black man said, says the person that haven't accomplished shit. Thy irony.
Thy maketh strongest comments. If
you saw that one.
Yeah.
You see this one?
No, I was just speaking proper.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, so Trump is a clown, period, bought and paid for.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's interesting is that everybody accuses everybody of being bought and paid for. Like, you take one sponsorship deal and you're bought and paid for. You know? Like, I definitely don't take sponsorship deals. But if I did, I'd certainly consider it from this amazing Form energy drink.
I'm saying grape for life. I'd be fine with that.
Well, that's not
free energy drinks.
I am drinking for those audio listeners. This amazing screaming freedom.
Mhm.
Go get you some. Joe's got the orange, the orange fury.
Typical.
DJ's got the grape.
Somebody stole it.
That's a stereotype.
Hmm?
No, you stole the grape.
Yeah, no, but it was stolen from me.
You stole it from yourself, probably.
Reverse
You
theft.
double stole it.
Reverse theft.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not bought and paid for. But look, man, you know, I dude, I've said this 100 times, bro.
Like you shit.
I like Trump. I f- like him. I would love to hang out with him, dude. I think he's fucking hilarious. I think he doesn't f- around. Did you see him today when he leaned in on those and said, do you f- understand? Like, bro, you know that's how you run shit in the back. That's how you got to run shit. Okay? And, you know, saying he's bought and paid for, it appears to be that sometimes. But that's why I say, let it all play out. Because right now, it doesn't feel like he's bought and paid for.
No, it doesn't appear that.
And I agree. Some, you know, with the Israeli money that he's taken and the yeah, I mean, it has appeared to be that way, but it doesn't.
I think isn't it true though too? Like you can't really control who gives you the money. It's not like they go to you like, hey, here's the do this and then we'll get like no, because like dude, a lot of those times they just start funding that shit, funding those campaigns. It's not like you can send it back. It's there. And so it's kind of like well, we gave you money already, so now you have to support.
This is a problem with our government system. Okay. Personally, I think there needs to be a better system than being able to take money from private citizens where there's implied alignment, right? Like when you give big money to a politician, there's like an implied understanding that you're going to vote a certain way or at least like have a special relationship. And the AIPAC and the Israeli influence has taken this to like a level to the point where allegedly every single member of Congress, according to Massey and a bunch of other people, have a handler.
Yeah.
Okay.
AIPAC guy.
A rep.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and then by the way, like Kanye said, a lot of these actors and all these people have that. When that becomes the level of influence that's happening to almost where our government has to answer to these people, that's not a real government.
So, it's definitely not by the people.
No, and that's what we're dealing with, and people understand that at this point in time.
Yeah.
So, and pointing it out and being called anti-Semitic doesn't work anymore, just like it doesn't work to be called racist because you point out the crime statistics that we have. Like, the shit nobody cares. Like, call people whatever the fuck they want. Everybody sees what's going on, and you can't put it back in the bottle, bro. So all of this like slander and social pressure and name calling, and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
I mean, it certainly doesn't work on people like me and you. But I believe that for the average person, they're starting to get like that too. So
that's real, man.
Yeah. At the end of the day, right now, by the end of today, Trump may go back with Israel. I don't know, but right now, it sure doesn't seem like he's bought and paid for.
Yeah. Well, guys, we do appreciate you for being real ass fans. Keep liking.
And if we're being real, what better way to open the eyes of everyone to what you're actually dealing with Netanyahu? Like, bro. Trump has treated Netanyahu with very, very strong respect. For example, like when Netanyahu came to the White House and Trump pulled his chair out and pushed it in, people saw that as a sign of like supplicating weakness to Netanyahu by Trump. But Trump is by all accounts a very proper man when it comes to manners, and it's a big deal for him.
Well, I mean, that could also be looked at as like a dominance move, bro. It's no different than how he pulls people in for the handshakes.
Yeah, I know, but it wasn't seen that way.
Yeah,
it
how
was
people took it.
Yes,
yeah.
So when we look at how Netanyahu has treated Trump back, I don't think Trump, Trump's biggest asset and his biggest liability, everybody knows, is a ego, which is a lot of leaders. Okay. That's why they're leaders, man. They have no problem stepping up and taking their position. Like, it is what it is. I think what I said on this show is what's happening. I think Trump is exposing what Netanyahu is really all about to everybody, including his neocon, pro-Israel. I mean, it would be really hard to defend him right now. People are doing it.
Oh, yeah.
Mark Levin's on TV saying, war, war, war. You still got Sean Hannity on TV, war, war, war. But we got to ask ourselves why that is. I think we should, where's the money? Where's their
the belief really come from?
Hold on. If their finances were public, what would we find?
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So whatever's going on here, I'm making my best educated, observational assumption, but whatever's going on here is not what it appears to be at surface level.
No, not at all, man. Not at all. Let's keep cruising, shall we? Yeah, let's get into headline number 2. So it's always interesting when a lot of this stuff's happening. There's always other stuff happening in the background that nobody really pays attention to. These are the headlines that get left out. Let's go to New York City, because there's something important happening up there. There is a mayoral election happening. Mayoral. Mayonnaise election happening up in New York City. What's a watch when...
That sounds racist, man.
Did it?
A little bit.
It couldn't be.
That's okay, though.
There's not even one white person that's in the...
Well, I mean, you're saying the mayo. Mayonnaise, that's racist.
Yeah. What to watch? What to watch for when the NYC Mayoral results come in? So there's a race going on right now. The elections are today when we're recording this show. But there's some interesting stuff happening, and it piqued my curiosity when I saw
what?
Huh?
It titted?
It peaked.
A titty peak?
Trying to get me.
He said tit.
I said tipped.
No, I know you said tit because I saw Zishan's eyes get big.
When I said tit?
Yeah.
You know it's his birthday.
No, it's not. Is it your birthday? Is it really? What are you getting for your birthday?
Curry?
Harassed?
Some
Curry? all social media is Tinder if you're Indian enough.
That's right.
But yeah,
get some bobs. Some bobs, maybe. Maybe bobs are on the menu. Maybe a little side of vagine.
Yeah.
Is it really your birthday?
Yeah.
Happy birthday, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. How old are you?
I stopped counting after 24.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, you look good.
Thank you.
Yeah. For real, dude. Happy birthday, man. That's awesome.
Thank you.
All right. So after show curry special.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, but my curiosity went up when I saw this specific headline.
I know it titted.
It titted it. New York City mayoral results may take time. Here's why. I said, "Oh shit, man! Here we go again."
Well, you know that the guy running's a straight communist, dude.
Bro, open socialist, yeah.
No, he is a communist. He wants state-run grocery stores, which, by the way, have never worked in the history of Earth. You know what state-run grocery stores do? They cause everybody to lose weight because there ain't no food. He should be running on, I'm going to get everybody in shape.
Just go that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so you got these elections going on. All right. Now, like I said, we've seen this before. Oh, it's going to take some time. We've seen this before. Let's go to the ACLU because I remember they made a headline, why counting the vote can and should take time.
It's insane.
Like,
dude.
come on, man. Everyone remembers the 4 days it took to officially call the 2020 presidential race for Joe Biden. While that election seemed to take an inordinate amount of time, it's normal for it to take several days to process all the ballots. Yeah, of course it does. Now, here's what's weird, okay? So this election in New York, right now, it's a close contest between Andrew Cuomo, okay, and this communist assemblyman Zoran Madani, okay? They are saying, drum roll here, July 1st, it could take even up to a week, up to 2 weeks to get the results in for this election. 2 weeks. Now, I did some math here, right? Because like that doesn't make sense, right? And I pulled up New York City data, voting data.
This is the primary.
This is the primary.
Yeah.
Now I pulled up some because they're both contested, right? Like, I mean, they're either open communist is going to get it or a guy with a really bad sexual potential.
Not only sexual, I mean,
the
look,
COVID
man,
shit.
Yeah.
I mean, like there's a lot here.
Yeah.
So I got some on that too, though. But I pulled up the data from New York, and this is straight from New York City. They have 4.7 million people inside New York City that are that are active voters. So you're telling me it's going to take, and for perspective, right? Our 2024 election, when we had 174 million people vote in that election, which only took 2 days, 3 days. It's going to take a week to count 4.7 million. That does not make sense to me.
No, yeah, it does. It makes perfect sense because the communist way of winning shit is to wear people out to the point where they don't care and then they just step forward. Okay, so if you're going to take 2-3 weeks to count votes, you're basically betting on the fact that people that are your opposition are eventually going to lose interest and you're just going to take it. That's makes perfect sense because that's how they operate. They wear you the down to where you get comfortable, you feel like everything, it's not that big of a deal, and then they just take it, dude.
Yeah, I thought this was crazy too. Just looking at the numbers in New York City, there's roughly only 558,000 registered Republicans in New York City. It's like that's not a lot at all up there. I just thought that was interesting data numbers. But I want to get into Andrew Cuomo here for a little bit because there's a new thing that just came out about him. Andrew Cuomo was blackmailed as governor. Some sexual allegations were 100% fake. OMG undercover video. So this has to do with that COVID stuff. Okay. Now listen,
I already know. Before you go into it, here's what I bet. I bet he threatened to tell the truth about COVID, and then they figured out how to get him the fuck out.
Let's check it.
Okay. When you're Como, before you even get into this,
I gotta be Como.
Listen, the listener, as a person, you're Andrew Como.
Okay.
They come to you, and they say, "Hey, we're going to need you to go with this narrative." Which is how they do it. That's exactly how they do it. Andrew Cuomo and any elected official, they are not allowed to come up with their own opinions. They are told what to say and do. Hey, Andrew, we're going to need you to do this. This is what we're going to need. He says, fine. He goes along with it. Then all of a sudden, people out here that are against COVID, enough of them, start to realize that, holy shit, this guy sent old people with COVID and made them give COVID to the other old people in these nursing homes. A whole bunch of people died. They pumped the death roll, the death toll. So he starts seeing the backlash and he's like, that's not what happened. Here's what, and before he can give it out of his mouth, oh, really? You did this and this and this to these people. You're out. And by the way, if you say another word about that, I'm going to kill you.
Like Hillary.
This is how people think that's out of hand, bro. We're talking about the highest level of government, the most money with the biggest implications. You think that these people don't straight up tell them, like, dude, if you open your mouth even more, we're going to kill you and your family? You're insane. That's exactly what they do. It goes from say this will give you money to if you don't say this, we're going to blackmail you, to if you don't say this, we're going to put you in jail, to we'll kill you.
Yeah. Yeah. Bro, listen.
You can see the pattern. Look what they did to Trump.
They did it. I mean, they do. They've done this a bunch. And I'll say, like, I'll say this, like, I'm not an Andrew Cuomo fan.
I'm not either.
I'm not like, oh yeah, you know, I'm gonna rally behind Andrew Cuomo.
No, I think he's a turd.
However, what I will say is wrong is wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Wrong is wrong. Wrong is wrong. Period. And if that is the case, okay, if that is the case, that's fucked up. And I don't think he should be being held accountable for those things. But it's exactly what you said. So there's this undercover video that was just released from O'Keefe Media Group. It features a senior New York Health Department lawyer who revealed that Andrew Cuomo, when he was the governor of the state, was forced into signing a nursing home bill into law due to blackmail.
Huh.
It's literally what he's saying. The video was released on the eve of New York City's Democratic mayoral primary, in which Cuomo is neck and neck with socialist communist Zoran Mamdani. Jacob Wilkinson, senior counsel for the New York State Health Department, told undercover OMG reporter, quote, "So there's a new law that Governor Cuomo signed when he was at the end of his term. When Cuomo was getting that investigation, he didn't have a lot of political power. His political power went down, right? And so he was pushed to sign this group of legislation. So it's like several pieces of legislation that are like all together regarding nursing homes. Let's check this video out.
Some of the allegations are 100% fake because those girls were sitting on his lap taking selfies with him.
So he was being blackmailed.
It kind of was. So there's a new law that Governor Cuomo signed when he was at the end of his term. When Cuomo was getting that investigation, he didn't have a lot of political power. His political power went down, right? And so he was pushed to sign this group of legislation. So it's like several pieces of legislation that are like all together regarding nursing homes.
Okay.
But it was written so poorly, like, we can't implement it. Like, I work at the Department of Health, and we're trying to implement it. It's just, we can't do it.
Who wrote that?
The Nurses Association.
So that he was forced to sign it.
Yeah, pretty much.
On the eve of the New York mayor's Democratic mayoral primary election, former Governor Andrew Cuomo and Zoran Mamdani are neck and neck in the polls. And questions still linger about Cuomo's final days in office as governor. Last year, New York State Department of Health senior counsel Jacob Wilkinson, who worked for former Governor Andrew Cuomo and Governor Kathy Hochul, met with our undercover OMG journalist in New York City. Wilkinson revealed that when Andrew Cuomo was in office, the former governor was forced to sign a poorly written nursing home bill that Wilkinson states the health department can't implement. Wilkinson explained that his former boss, then Governor Cuomo, lacked political power, ultimately leading to the signing of the nursing home bill.
And what they do is they require, for one example, the one I'm working on most, they require spending requirements for nursing homes. So a nursing home has to spend 70% of its revenue on direct resident care, and that's like defined.
Okay.
And so they can't spend it on paving the driveway or fixing the roof. It has to be like
Directly patient care. Yeah.
And then 40% of that has to be resident facing care. So that's like actual people.
And so when Kathy became the governor, you wanted to change it.
Right.
So you think Cuomo actually handled it pretty well?
Yeah.
Yeah. Were there any like lessons learned, like mistakes made?
Oh, yeah.
Like around nursing?
Yeah, I think he had to handle it well. And the piece, because I looked more into this too, the piece that's important is that 70% that they're talking about spending, that was an additional to the current salary, and it was all spent on COVID, moving patients, all like filling the nursing homes. Like,
and people will say, why do they do that? Well, they needed, if you could, I know people have a short memory.
He said who the fuck pushed it. It was the Nurses Association that pushed it.
But when people say, why would they do that? They don't remember that Cuomo, the deaths that happened in New York with the old people are one of the biggest drivers of the COVID narrative.
Yep.
Those were the first big like clusters of people who passed away that they pointed to and said, look, all the people dying.
See, the old people are dying.
Yeah.
See?
So it juiced the narrative. I mean, yeah, man, it makes sense to me.
Dude, it's so crazy. Like I said, I'm not a fan. I'm not saying that, like, Cuomo's an innocent guy. I'm sure he's done some fucked up shit.
I don't like him at all.
Yeah.
I don't like his brother at all. I think these guys.
Oh, his brother, I really can't stand.
Look, dude, these people are for sale and they don't do the right things. And that's not what the government is supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not about personally not liking them, but they have a character flaw, which is I am for sale. My influence is for sale. And if you pay me money, I will make decisions that aren't good for the people who elected me for my own benefit. That's a character flaw that I can't get down with.
Yeah, no, that's real. And I think this whole thing about, why it's going to take so long to get these votes back is because they're going to use this next week or 2 weeks to temp check Andrew Cuomo and see where he is, if he's going to be able to fall in line again or if not. And if he can fall in line, he'll be the next primary.
Here's a bigger question.
Candidate.
Here's a bigger question. Why hasn't Trump fixed this situation yet? Why haven't we fixed the voting problem in this country yet? And are we planning on doing it?
Time will tell.
Wasn't that one of the voting reform, like one of the big promises? So this could never happen again. And here we are, people doing the same old shit that they did to him and that they did in the 2022 primary. And they tried to do this last time, but they made it so it was impossible. Cool. But you should make it so it's impossible in every election, not just your presidential election. We got to fix this forever, man. And it should be fixed already. We're 6 months into this shit, bro. It should be fixed already. Like, that should have been the first thing that happened. Hey, all voting is going to be reformed to this. Paper ballots, 1 day results, counting, like all the holes, all the gaps should be corrected. They should already be done.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Guys, jump in on this conversation. If you're from New York, if you're one of those 500,000 people up there,
yeah,
let us know what you guys think down there. With that being said, let's get to our final headline of the day. This is another one that got missed. Headline number 3. This is another small one. This is wild. J6. Okay, there's still people that are dealing with some ramifications, right? This is I gotta show this. This is for context. This is an MS or NBC News article. Okay, jury orders man to pay $500,000 for assaulting a police officer who killed himself after a Capitol riot. Read that again. Listen.
Jury
pause
orders.
the show. Read that.
Jury orders man to pay $500,000 for assaulting police officer who killed himself after the Capitol riot.
Mm-hmm.
The jury ordered chiropractor David Walls Kaufman, 69, to pay damages to Aaron Smith for assaulting her husband, Metropolitan Police Officer Jeffrey Smith, on January 6, 2021. I'm going to have to hear more about this because that doesn't make sense.
It's wild.
So, am I seeing this correctly? So, apparently during the J6, they must have had some sort of scuffle. And then the guy went later home and killed himself. And they're saying that the scuffle was the reason that the guy killed himself?
That's what they tried to say.
But there's no way.
Well, that's what they tried to say. Let's dive into this. So a federal jury on Monday awarded $500,000 to the widow and estate of a police officer who killed himself 9 days after he helped defend the U.S. Capitol from a mob of rioters, including a man who scuffled with the officer during the attack. The 8-member jury ordered that man, 69-year-old chiropractor David Walls Kaufman, to pay $380,000 in punitive damages, $60,000 in compensatory damages to Aaron Smith for assaulting her husband, Metropolitan Police Officer Jeffrey Smith, inside the Capitol on January 6th. They also awarded an additional $60,000 to compensate Jeffrey Smith's estate for his pain and suffering. Now, the judge presiding over the civil trial dismissed Aaron Smith's wrongful death claim against Walls Kaufman, Before jurors began deliberating last week, U.S. District Judge Anna Reyes said no reasonable juror could conclude that Wallace Kaufman's actions were capable of causing a traumatic brain injury leading to Smith's death. On Friday, the jury sided with Aaron Smith and held Wallace Kaufman liable for assaulting her 35-year-old husband, an encounter captured on the officer's body camera. Quote, Aaron is grateful to receive some measure of justice, said David P. Weber, one of her attorneys. Wallace Kaufman said the outcome of the trial is absolutely ridiculous. Quote, no crime happened. I never struck the officer. I never intended to strike the officer, he said. I'm just stunned. Now, after the jury left the courtroom, Reyes encouraged the parties to confer and discuss a possible settlement to avoid the time and expense of an appeal and for the sake of finality. You guys settle. You can move on with your lives. Wallace Kaufman's attorney, Hunji Hunt, or Huey, was it Huey Hunt?
Yeah.
Sorry, Huey. Who the fuck spells that shit like that, bro? Like, just be normal. He described the jury's award as shocking. We're talking about a 3-second event, he told the judge. It's not shocking, Mr. Hunt. A lot of things can happen in 3 seconds. That's right. Isn't that right?
That's how you got those 3 kids.
So Jeffrey Smith was driving to work for the first time after the Capitol riot when he shot and killed himself with his service weapon. His family said he had no history of mental health problems before the J6 riot. Aaron Smith claims Wallace Kaufman struck her husband in the head with his own police baton, giving him a concussion and causing psychological and physical trauma that led to his suicide. Wallace Kaufman, who lived a few blocks from the Capitol, denied assaulting Smith. He says any injuries that the officer suffered on J6 occurred later in the day when another rioter threw a pole that struck Smith around his head. Now, this is what makes it crazy. The police department medically evaluated Smith and cleared him to return to full duty before he killed himself. In 2022, the District of Columbia Police and Firefighters Retirement and Relief Board determined that Smith was injured in the line of duty and the injury was the sole and direct cause of his death, according to the lawsuit. But that's not what the medical examiner's report was. That's not what the doctors that cleared him report was. None of that. And on top of that, Wallace Kaufman, he served a 60-day prison sentence for pleading guilty to a Capitol riot-related misdemeanor in 2023, being pardoned by Trump in January of this year. Of course. But, J6 has always been this crazy mystery, right? Because they always say, well, officers died that day, right? Like, that's what they like to say.
Of course they say it. They say, yeah.
But I want to show this because this is the first time that NBC and MSNBC has, I don't know if you call this saying the truth. Now, I will say this. This is the last paragraph of this article, and it reads this. More than 100 law enforcement officers were injured during the riot. Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick collapsed and died a day after engaging with the rioters. A medical examiner later determined he suffered a stroke and died of natural causes. Howard Libengood, a Capitol Police officer who responded to the riot, also died by suicide after the attack. But like the narrative up until I saw this article, I mean, you ask them, no, officers died that day.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, they've been lying the entire time.
The entire time, man. And like, it's just so crazy. Like even AP, like everybody's starting to like, I guess, admit what the actual truth was. And it's just so interesting, man, because like when you compare this to other things that have happened in this country.
Every single person who lied about that belongs in prison because of the damage and the division that it caused.
Bro.
Yeah.
Bro, it's crazy.
And dude.
Now, were there officer injuries? Of course. I'm sure there was.
Listen, people who intentionally lie in the media belong in jail. Intentionally lie to hurt people and cause division. Belong in jail.
Well, my sources say.
No, you got to name your sources.
It's bullshit,
yeah.
Man. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
And like, I just hate again, it's double standards. We know it is, right? Like, because when you compare this to other situations.
There's a big difference between making a mistake and falsely reporting or speaking out of turn and intentionally
lying.
Right.
Intentionally lying. Yeah. But like when you compare this to other stuff, so 100 officers were injured in the line of duty during J6. Cool. Got it. But we don't talk about what happened in like, let's say 2020, where during the 2020 riots, there were more than 900 law enforcement officers that were injured, including 277 officer injuries while defending a federal courthouse in Portland, Oregon. No talk about that insurrection, or the 60 Secret Service officers defending the White House, or how in September of 2020, a gunman ambushed 2 LA sheriff's deputies as they sat in their squad car.
I saw that video. That's brutal.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
but like, we don't talk about this. None of the left cared about police during that time. And you know how many people were arrested during any of that, specifically connected to officer injuries?
Probably none.
6.
6.
But they locked up 1,600 people for J6. It's just the double standard shit, man. It's insane. What do you got on this?
You know, I don't look.
This is Walsh Kaufman, by the way.
Look, man. I don't want to. It's hard to believe. It's hard to believe that a 2-second thing would cause a man to kill himself on his first day back to
9
go.
days later.
Why didn't he kill himself at another time? You know, did he leave? I don't know enough to really make a conclusion on it, but it doesn't sound right. And it sounds a lot like how people that seem to know how things are going end up committing suicide.
Because there was a lot of suicides that day, man, from officers. Or not that day, but around that event.
Listen, man. Our country has become so corrupt that it's almost impossible to know what the fuck's going on. And for us to sit here and continue to point out the double standard makes us stupid, because it's very clear that unless it backs the leftist communist narrative, it is ignored. So we don't ever see the news that represents both sides ever. And everybody who isn't in line with that leftist narrative continues to say the same things over and over and over. This is a double standard. This isn't true. Can you believe they're doing this? They won't let us say this. They won't let us say that. It should be very obvious at this point in time that we are dealing with a level of influence that is completely one-sided, and to expect it to be fair is a very ignorant and dangerous expectation, because it never will be. We are dealing with a media, we are dealing with a power structure, we are dealing with a narrative creation machine that is designed for one purpose. And that purpose is to divide and remove the power from the citizens of this country so that they cannot effectively challenge the power structure that is in place. If they keep everybody fighting, the police and the citizens, black people and white people, men and women, gay people and straight people, if they continue that narrative, there is no chance for unity that allows any sort of resistance to happen. And our machine has become so corrupt, and it's been going on for so long, that younger people just see this as the way it is. You would have to be 38, 39 years old to really understand that this is not the way that it's always been. And if you are 20 years old, it would be very easy for someone to point and be like, look at these crazy people on the right. Look what they're saying. Look what they're doing. And it would appear from that point of view that those people are crazy and they're trying to revert back to some, super racist, bigoted America that they teach these people that existed not that long ago. When in reality, in the 90s, in the early 2000s, in the 80s, people were getting the fuck along.
It was cool.
Okay? But how would you know that if you didn't witness it? These people understand that. So right now, they're poisoning the minds of every single person that lacks the perspective of having lived through a time when things were actually good or considerably better than what they are now. So this, to me and you, is very confusing. We're like, why the fuck would they do that? And to most Americans, like when they hear you and I say, look at all this stuff they're doing, it would be very easy for someone who was younger to be like, these guys are crazy. These guys don't, like, look
what are you talking about? Racism is right here. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But like, they don't have the perspective of seeing it. And that's the danger of what's been going on for so long. When you teach people through the media that, and through education, that the country's racist and white people are inherently racist and black people are inherently victims and the system's set up for white people and not black people, and you know, we're the most racist we've ever been, and all this crazy shit. If you haven't lived through any other time, why the fuck would you question it? Right? And I've been alive long enough to have seen what real journalism looks like. And what we have now is not real journalism. It is the product of communist ideology infiltrating our schools and universities, and then those people now being in the position to write these articles and create these videos and perpetrate propaganda that they were taught was the way that it is. It's just I don't really know what the solution is other than like I said, if you lie intentionally in the media, you should be in prison. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the solution is.
Yeah. You, the person who wrote the script, who's working the teleprompter, like, because they're all complicit in it.
I know, man. It's a shit show.
I'm also starting to feel too like I don't think we'll ever get the full truth on what happened on J6 and like how many FBI informants were in the crowd, or like we're not gonna get any of that. I don't think we'll get the truth, bro.
I think that the debate on the backside is like with Cash Patel and Bongino and shit. I think those guys went into it feeling and believing that they were going to tell the truth. And I think they get into those meetings and then they are explained why the truth telling removes the power of these agencies. And then they are convinced to go along with the quote unquote way that it always has been.
Yeah, the
so
status quo,
like this, like DJ, listen, man, I know that you, and by the way, dude, you're right. What you're saying is right. But here's the thing. If we tell the truth, then we lose the ability to do this and this and this and this. And what's in the greater good of the people?
Right.
It's these things that we do behind closed. That's a very easy line of shit to make people feel okay with hiding the way things actually are. So I don't know, man. That's what I feel like is going on.
Yeah.
I don't, if we don't get disclosure and we don't get the truth for real, this country's done. Okay. The corruption's too deep. There's too many hands in the cookie jar. There's too much bullshit. And if we don't get, you know, if Trump doesn't follow through and Cash Patel doesn't follow through and Bongino doesn't follow through and these people don't follow through, our country's done. It's done. It's done for good. And the only hope I really have right now is twofold. One, that Trump is doing what I think he's doing at this point in time. Now, like I said, by tonight, I could change because things could change. But as of today, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it appears that he's distancing himself from Netanyahu intentionally. And it also appears that he's trying to raise the curtain on how psychotic this dude actually is. And the next logical steps of that curtain raising would be the pointing out to the level of influence that they have, that man, his funders have in our own government. And if it continues to go that way, we could see some truth.
Mm.
And the only other way it could go is if people get so, like we talk about, personal excellence becoming the ultimate rebellion. They become so intelligent, so fit, so successful, so willing to lead by example, so willing to change the culture that this shit just doesn't work on them anymore. Because the way it works is by basically, in a nutshell, promising people free shit in one way or another. Easier life. And all it does is make it harder. Yeah. So I just think there's a lot, man. I think every single person should be working to become the kind of person that is not able to be controlled, regardless of what they think may or may not happen, because at the end of the day, that's the final straw. If we become a citizenship that is strong, intelligent, not dependent, independent thinkers, not consuming their addictive food, not consuming their medicine, not becoming mega consumers of their data, not allowing our lives to be captured into this online matrix, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, that keeps them from fulfilling their agenda of creating a fat, lazy, supplicating, defenseless, controllable populace that becomes mega consumers of all of their shit. But that's a big ask because most people are.
Kool-Aid's too good, man.
That's what I'm saying. So we're in a very important, pivotal situation where people need to ask themselves, what the f do we want to happen here? Because the way it's going, man, it's not going to be good.
Yeah. Guys, jump in on this conversation. Let us know down in the comments what you guys think. With that being said, let's get to our final segment.
Yeah.
As always, we got thumbs up or dumb as fuck. That's where we bring a headline in, we talk about it, gets one of those two options. Andy, let me ask you a question. You like tattoos?
It depends.
Right?
Yeah.
How many hours you got on your body?
A few hundred.
Decent.
200-300.
You know a thing or two.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah, let's check this. Let's check this tattoo artist out. Tattoo artist roasted for demon-like image of client's baby. I'm sorry you lost your dog, bro.
Okay.
So let's dive into this. So terrible tattoos are timeless, but as of late, it seems like more and more inked-up individuals are taking to the internet to share their strange, questionable, and sometimes even trashy tattoos. Between Gen Z's recent revival of the tramp stamp, that's coming back.
No, it's not.
It is. It's back. Tramp stamps are back. A Swiss woman's viral $600 Red Bull barcode tattoo. Social media users seem to agree that they could go a while without seeing another mega viral miss in the tattoo department. Unfortunately, the aforementioned members of the public, Cairo-based tattoo artist Thomas Tattoos, proved to be the latest object of ink-based ridicule after he posted a video to his Instagram account, Ink by Thomas, presenting his latest piece. The piece was presumably intended to be a portrait of the client's daughter, but commenters saw more resemblance between the final product of Gollum from The Lord of the Rings, a demon, various animals, and the fictitious ogre Shrek was also popular comparisons. Quote, beautiful tribute. I'm sorry you lost your dog, bro, quipped one sarcastic user. So here's the picture.
That's not a. Well, I mean, it looks like the stencil. Those two things kind of look alike. Maybe that's just an ugly kid.
Oh, that's a good take. I mean,
that's the
fair.
stencil.
Uh-huh.
So he laid that on top of a photograph, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Stencil it out. The tattoo and the stencil don't look that different.
Mm-hmm.
Do they?
No, as somebody who draws for a living, you're right.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think the kid's just ugly.
Let's
That's my take.
Let's check this clip out.
What? I mean, listen, this is why you don't go to shitty tattoo artists.
Okay, so that was my first thought, right?
Yeah.
I'm okay. Well, let's check some of his other work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta be fair here.
All right.
Okay. So this is some of his artwork. Okay. But it's not terrible work.
Yeah, but realism is different than.
Okay, that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah, he's not. That guy's not able to do humans.
Portraits. That's what
Yeah.
it is. Yeah, he can't do portraits.
There's a certain nuance that comes with drawing. You have to understand what to draw, what not to draw. So, for example, if
You don't draw that.
if I have a photo of you smiling really big and you have all your teeth showing, it doesn't necessarily has to be drawn because teeth, specifically in drawings, don't look really good. I think that's the thing that's happened with the baby drawing. You have to have a nuance and make a decision what to draw, what not to draw, how to shade it. Otherwise, it's going to look horrendous.
Yeah, I mean, look, dude. Real talk. Here's what I think we got going on here. I think we got a shitty tattoo artist and an ugly baby.
So it multiplied everything.
Yeah.
If he would not have shaded it and made it exactly like the stencil, just the line drawing, it
would've
would
been
not
all
be
right.
so horrible.
Yeah, moving all right. Bro,
Yeah. I
come
mean,
on, man.
it sucks.
But probably you're right.
Yeah. I mean, if you want a portrait, you go to someone who does portraits.
For a living. Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
like not someone who's got Harley Davidson catalog tattoos on his wall of his tattoo parlor.
This was not terrible.
It's pretty terrible.
Okay.
That's terrible too. I mean, look, here's the bottom line. You get what the you pay for.
Get what you pay for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's real.
And people come in all the time to these tattoo guys who aren't good because they think they're getting a deal. Dude, it's like girls that get boob jobs and they get a $1,000, $2,000 boob jobs and their titties look like shit.
Yeah, that's not enough.
You know, like
Not enough.
it's the same thing. Like, it's a cosmetic procedure.
That's right.
You know, like
It's going to live on your body forever.
That's right.
Yeah.
Tattooing is a cosmetic procedure. It's like getting your boobs done. It's like, you know,
Teeth.
yeah. Like, I'm going to go get my $500 veneers. Well, they're going to look like $500 veneers. You know what I'm saying? You look like George Washington, your wooden teeth. You know, like that's, you get what the fuck you pay for has been my experience with tattooing. And like, that's why I only have one guy that tattoos me and that's it.
I wonder how much he paid for that.
Not a lot. It's like going to LASIK, bro, and being like, I'm going to get the cheapest LASIK.
I can't see shit.
Yeah. and then getting mad about it.
Compare that to what you have on your hand. It's night and day difference.
Well,
It's
I mean, my guy's the best in the world. That's, you know why? Because that's the shit that I want.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to, you know, I don't want up looking shit.
Baby. Oh, bro.
What?
The comments from people.
Yeah, prayers for the baby if it looks like that. Well, it's not nice to say, but not all kids are pretty and cute. I mean,
Somebody also commented, I'm not 100% sure how anyone can see your page and think, yep, I need a tattoo from him.
yeah. I don't get it either, dude. I think that
Somebody said bro doesn't have customers. He has victims.
bro, that's the truth, dude.
Oh, man. These people are ruthless.
Yeah. Well, hey, man, it is what it is.
So I said, what day are you closed?
Yeah.
Hey, yo, do you accept walkouts?
Hey, you know what, man? The good news is you can get the shit lasered off.
Mm-hmm. Don't get a cheap laser though.
I don't know, man.
Oh man, that's
I would recommend that. Here's my take on tattoos. Until you are able to afford the legitimate shit that you really want, you shouldn't get tattoos. Okay, I didn't get tattooed till I was like 33.
Really?
And at that time I could afford the best.
Yeah.
So
you didn't do like the live, laugh, love shit when you're young.
Well, also, dude, remember, you're not going to be the same person at 20 that you are at 30, or even 30 that you are at 40.
It's real.
You know? So, you know, and people like say, like, well, oh, dude, it's a part of my journey. Yeah, I know. Sometimes you want to forget those parts. You know? Like, yeah, so I, you know, I mean, let's be real, dude. That baby's ugly as
Andy,
DJ, that's an ugly kid. That's an ugly kid. I don't care what
it looks nice in person.
No, it probably doesn't. It's probably a sweet kid, but it's probably ugly. There's such things as ugly kids, bro.
They do exist, bro.
Yeah, I know. I've seen a whole bunch of them.
They do exist.
Yeah, there's one.
I've been blessed. My
Dude,
kids are
listen.
cute.
All I'm saying is this. It doesn't look that far off from the stencil.
No. So accuracy from stencil, like A for that.
No.
I'm checking this guy's work on his page. He's good with line work. If it's just lines, he's pretty good. But when it comes to shading like that,
yeah, like this isn't terrible.
Well, that's like getting someone who paints houses to paint Mona Lisa.
There you go.
It's not gonna happen.
There you go.
Exactly. This wasn't terrible.
Dude, look.
It's not terrible.
Those are shitty tattoos. All right? I'm just going to say it. It is what the fuck it is. The dude could get mad at me. He could fly over here from Cairo, where the fuck he's from, and get pissed. That guy's a shitty tattoo artist, and anybody who gets tattoos from him should be able to understand that you're going to get shitty tattoos. Some people like shitty tattoos because it's like a whole look.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so, but that's what you're going to get from my homie here.
Well, here's the good thing. What's his name? Tim, I think. Thomas. There's always room for improvement. You can get better.
Whatever. Anyway, thumbs down. This is horrible. The kid's ugly. The tattoo's bad. It is what the fuck it is. Don't at me.
Don't at me. Guys, yeah. Andy, that's all I got, man.
All right, me too. Don't be a hoe.
Shut the show.